I'm Kat.
I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy, the podcast where two teachers unwind, sip wine, and we each teach a lesson we can't teach at school. What are we drinking, Hayley?
We have a fancy bottle this week. We have Firesteed Pinot Noir 2019. It's from Oregon. It is a little too easy to drink.
It is very easy.
It's like drinking a cloud, and I'm really glad we picked it up from High Point earlier today. Of course, that's High Point Grocery here in Memphis, Tennessee. You can get one too if you're here in Memphis, or if you want to make the trip. I don't do that during COVID, but one day, if
like
you're
make
not,
the trip down. Yeah, take a road trip to go to High Point. I mean, it is pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, you might see us there.
You could. I mean, we're in there like at least once a week.
If you are in Memphis and want to check it out, it's located at 369.
Nope.
It's located at 469 AO High Point Terrace.
469. Damn, you fine.
Whoa. One more time.
Get some wine.
Get some wine if you're fine. But yeah, check it out. It's in East Memphis and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and so is this wine.
Cute little place. It is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
At first, we were like, what is this? Because last week, we were used to that really full-bodied wine that we had, which was also good. Now that my teeth are back to their normal off-yellow color. But yeah, this one's really delicious. And if you all would like to drink along with us, we actually have our wines all picked out. We're not procrastinating on the wine anymore.
Yes.
So if you are going to pick up your very own Firesteed Pinot Noir, it is only $13.99. So you can get lit or just sip a little bit at a reasonable price.
Yeah, and we looked up the tasting notes before the show, and we went on their website, and on the website it retails for $17, and so it's much cheaper at High Point. So
who doesn't like a deal?
I mean, I know I do.
You could buy like 2 or 3 packs of Tic Tacs at the checkout with that money you save.
That's
by
true.
Going to High Point.
Tic Tacs,
icebreakers. Those Listerine, mint tongue things.
You have a weird taste in mints.
I like mint. What can I say?
Altoids or nothing.
Okay, I do like Altoids. Altoids. That's true.
Good.
Well, anyway, most of all, I like wine. And that is what we're freaking drinking.
Ooh, freaking drinking. I like that. And speaking of like snappy things, we came up with a name for our listeners that we're very excited about.
You did. You're the genius behind this.
Oh, thanks for giving me the credit. But you agreed that it's a good idea. So some of the credit goes to you because it'd be a real bummer if she hated it. But we like, I mean, I guess it might be a little bit premature to come up with a name for our listeners, but we did come up with a great name, we think. We like the name Classmates. I think that's fun and cute.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. So
I feel like it conveys that like, we're like teaching and learning every single week. And hopefully by listening, you might pick up a little fun fact or two, but also like we're also learning as we do these lessons, and hopefully we're all like peers in this lifelong journey of learning.
Certainly. I think it conveys a lot of camaraderie and community, which you gasped at something.
Yeah, I just had an idea.
Ooh, okay.
Learny journey.
Learny journey. I like that. What can we use that for?
I don't know.
We should just start saying it enough that we can put it on a shirt. I'm going to take you on a learny journey.
We're going to make it happen. That's what we're going to call our lessons now.
Learny journeys. Yeah. I like that. That's super cute.
A little bit of like batch sprinkled in there. Still learning.
There you go. And I mean, look at all these segues today. We also got new merch that is now available on the Parasaur's website. The link will be in the show notes, and it's on all our social medias, and it's freaking dope.
It is so dope. Okay, I love my pink, very bright Host for Science shirt, but I also, need something that I can wear every day
in public,
like a LWT little LBT, little black t-shirt.
Little black tee. Yeah.
I couldn't make the words happen in my head. And so, instead of a little black dress, because I'm not going anywhere during quarantine, I can have my LBT.
Yeah.
Little black tee.
And it's not little. It's like a regular like men's t-shirt. I don't want you to think it's a crop top if that's not your thing. A crop top would be cool though. I'd like to do one of those next.
We could cut it. You can cut it if you want.
You could cut it. You could get like a nice big baggy size and then cut it like just above your boob line and show some under boob. That'd be cute if you're a real hoe for science.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Show us your under boob.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say
weird.
no.
I truly meant to say was like, show us pictures of you wearing the merch.
Send it to Alec at Parasaur.
Okay.
Did Alec tell you to say that so we get underboob in our emails?
You know him too well. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Anyway, we have cute t-shirts and something else, a crew neck.
Yeah, cute black t-shirts. And then we have just like gray hoodies. And then in wine color and like varsity print, it says Night Classy University. So like it looks like your average university sweatshirt, but it's about us.
It's a little secret, a little sneaky secret.
Little snaky snake. They'll be like, what the fuck is Night Classy University? This person looks uneducated.
Really what it is you are wearing advertisements for us.
Yes.
But they're cute. They're really cute.
They're cute advertisements. I mean, we all know you wore an Aeropostale tee in middle school. So this is like that.
Yeah, a whole rainbow of Aeropostale tees. The zip ups, the one where like the letters were split right in the zipper. They didn't even like space it out
and it
right.
said like Aero. Mm-hmm. And then you wore your Lacy Justice tank underneath your t-shirt and pulled it way down over the hem of your low-rise jeans. Mm-hmm. And you thought you were hot.
Low-rise flare jeans with maybe like Skechers or Converse. I wore Converse personally.
Yeah, I wore Converse too. I did have one of those Converse that like goes up to your calf, like the really emo ones.
No.
And I did not wear flare jeans. I wore skinny jeans that were like ripped to shreds because like they're the only pair I would allow my mom to get me, and I wore them every day. With
those were cool.
Shit.
I started in 6th grade wearing those. I wish I would have, but now knowing that you wore those Converse, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I was not cool at all. I also wore heart-shaped shutter glasses to school. So.
You wore them to school.
And Mardi Gras beads.
Okay, I really applaud you because you just let your freak flag fly. And I wish I would have done that because I was too concerned like trying to look like the other girls and not wearing things that I wanted to wear.
Oh,
so.
I thought I was cool. Like, I don't want you to think that I thought I was just following my heart. I thought this was cool.
Was it cool? Seattle is a different place.
But like I went to middle school in Enumclaw, which is like
its own little
very
bubble,
rural.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably
also,
were the cool one.
Maybe. I also wore Osiris's. Do you remember those?
No.
Do you remember like those puffy like DC sneakers that had the huge like padded tongue?
Yeah.
It was like those. It was like the cool version of those. But like not cute at all. And they had like shiny silver stuff on them. They looked like tinfoil.
I feel like I don't even know you.
I wanted to be emo so bad. You don't even know.
You were dedicated to it. I also wanted to be emo, but the closest I got was like wearing black sweatshirts all the time. Unfortunately.
I mean, we all had that phase. We listened to Blink 182 on the car ride over here, so it brought back some memes.
Really getting into it.
Yes.
Well, other than that, there is a new Patreon that I would like to welcome. Shauna Grivet.
I don't know how she says her name.
Okay, well, Shauna, you know yourself. Let us know. But what I do know is that she shared her pronouns with us. That would be she, her. Thank you so much. We really appreciate sharing pronouns. And Shauna is currently working as an educational assistant. She works at this project in arts-based school, K through 12, which sounds so cool to me. I mean, I love public school and like what I have going on right now and everything, but project-based arts. That just sounds phenomenal. And she's also doing this while taking classes at university to get her teaching degree. And that is in Kelowna, British Columbia. So shout out to you, Shauna. We appreciate all the work you're doing in the educational field, and we're so happy to have you as a listener and a Patreon.
Yeah, thanks, Shauna. Shouts out. We love a fellow teacher in the fam. And then I just want to take an opportunity to shout myself out because it was my birthday on Wednesday, and I hid in my room and cried because I get like major birthday anxiety, but I feel like good now. So
yay, overcoming anxiety, feeling better. I'm so happy you made it 24 years.
I'm so old. And it gave me a mental breakdown, but it's okay. I'm good now. Hayley got me some fun gifts. She got me, it's like a print of a cross stitch that says like, there's some hoes in this house. So that was exciting. And then she got me some bath bombs and a mug with me and my cats on it. And then Alec got me
I've been like thinking about this. You like said it like it was a secret. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to tell you about it on the air because I'm so like, this is something that I've wanted for years and years and years. And I think I've talked about it on the show before. It's like, it was the perfect gift because it's super expensive and like also so frivolous and ridiculous that like I would never have bought it for myself. So it was like very exciting. In 2008, they made hot pink Ouija boards marketed toward girls, and they come with like a purse that you can put it in, and it has like question cards, and they made them in 2008, and then they were pulled from the shelves immediately because they were considered offensive. And so you can only get them on eBay. They're super, super hard to get, and he got me one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is the perfect gift.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you find it on eBay, Alec?
Yeah, it was the only one left online anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're hard to find, and I'm just so excited. So we can do Night Creepy with my pink Ouija board.
Oh my gosh. Did it come with the purse?
It will come with I haven't got it yet because it's the mail's been taking a long time lately, but I'm very excited. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm excited too. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at us. Look at you. Leveling up.
I need to get like a shadow box for it or something so I can display it. It's so cool.
Yeah, you should. Wow. Congrats on being cool and having cool stuff.
Thank you. My dad also sent me 15 bottles of wine that came in like a box the size of my bed, and I had to go to FedEx and pick it up, and the guy had to like carry it out to my car for me.
That's really nice of him.
Really nice of him. It was also snowing, so thanks to Matt or whatever your name is at FedEx. But yeah, so that's also exciting. It was a good birthday once I faced my fears.
It happens. It's birthday trauma.
Yeah.
Some people get it.
I get it for sure. I hate my birthday.
I'm just glad that you're okay. You're here now. You look great. You don't look a day over 20.
Thank you. It's not age. It's not age that I have anxiety over. I just get really overwhelmed when like there's a lot of expectations and a lot of attention directed at me.
That is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Opening gifts in front of people, especially a bunch of people, is like...
And the freaking birthday song... Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that traumatized me
just
as a kid.
being
I
sung
hated
to.
it. Yeah. And when people would like insist on like telling the waiter at a restaurant it was your birthday and they'd oh my God, deep trauma.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that's why I have birthday anxiety.
I got way less because my birthday's in September. So in school, it was like we had been in school for like 2 or 3 weeks when it came around. So it was like, we were all still getting to know each other all over again. Yeah. So it wasn't like, earlier birthdays were not a priority. Like it just kind of slipped under the rug, I feel like, which apparently has served me well. Yeah. It's fine. I've forgotten. I like it.
Oh, well, yeah. So those are my adventures this week.
Happy birthday.
Shut the fuck up. What if I just started crying?
It looks like you are. Oh my God, are you crying? Kat, don't cry.
Don't tell them.
Don't cry.
Don't tell them. They don't need to know. Well, we don't have our breathalyzer yet. It has been ordered. It's supposed to come this week. So this should be the last episode without a breathalyzer. We spent $150 on a professional grade breathalyzer. So hopefully this one won't fuck up. I didn't buy the warranty though. So if it does fuck up, that's going to just be a big bummer.
Yeah, that would be a huge bummer. But also, thank you all for listening and helping us get.
Thank you all Patreons.
Yeah.
Bought us a new breathalyzer. Thank you so much. And so I get to go first because Hayley went first last week and we don't have a breathalyzer to let the fates decide for us. So I'll jump into it. This one, I got almost all my information from a Vanity Fair article called The Suspects Wore Louboutins by Nancy Jo Celis. And so that's where almost all this comes from. I have a few more sources to cite at the end, but I wanted to shout Nancy out because I really just rearranged this like huge 20-page article that she wrote. So
wow, good for you for reading 20 pages.
I know. I'm a reader.
She reads. What can I say?
I know how to read. That's how I became a teacher. So there are three main characters.
Reading is a slippery slope
to teaching. Never learn how to read. No, just kidding.
It's a conspiracy.
That's how they get ya. Well, we have three main characters in our story that I want to like really zoom in on. And we're going to start with a girl named Rachel Lee. And we're going to start in 2006 when Rachel was in 10th grade. She was living in Calabasas, which we all know that's where the Kardashians are from. It's a super bougie suburb a few hours outside of LA. And Rachel was bougie. She went to Indian Hills High School, which was an alternative high school.
Whoa, there's an Indian Hill High School that's the most expensive, like crazy school in Cincinnati. It sounds just like this place. Yeah.
Kind of, except this is an alternative school. So it's for where the rich kids went when they got kicked out of their high school.
Oh, okay.
So Rachel was expelled from her Calabasas high school. And so she ended up at Indian Hills. But, you know, Rachel lived the high life. She was spoiled. She drove an Audi A4. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
My first car wreck was with an Audi.
Really?
Yeah. I backed right into it on accident.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not the car you want to back into.
No, well, the car in front of me was backing up and they didn't see me. So then I started backing up without even looking behind me because I didn't want to get hit. And then I hit the Audi.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, big bummer.
Yeah, big bummer.
Must have been her.
Maybe. Her mom was named Vicky Kwan and she owned 2 Kumon locations. Kumon is like a tutoring center. I don't know what her dad or stepdad did, but like by all accounts, she was pretty well off. But you know, she had some teen angst. She didn't get along with her mom. She hated her stepdad, who her mom married in Rachel's late teens. It's always a hard age to get a stepdad, I would imagine.
Yeah, a new person coming in like that.
Yeah, not great. As we established, Rachel was a troublemaker. I don't know why she got expelled, but she was known to commit like petty crimes like shoplifting. She was, I don't know if she was arrested, but I think she got like a community service or something from stealing $85 in merchandise from Sephora. So, you know, she was just kind of acting out. And, you know, she was at Indian Hills, which is where she met our second main character, Nick Prougo. And Nick was also well off and also troubled. He had been also kicked out of Calabasas High School for excessive absences, and then he transferred to Indian Hills. He was diagnosed with ADHD and prescribed Concerta and also prescribed Zoloft for anxiety. And he was like 15 at the time. Like kids can get prescriptions, but I think there were some other issues going on. His dad was senior vice president at IM Global, which is a film distribution company. And his dad was actually the foreign sales agent of Paranormal Activity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
So he's got money, right?
Yes. They
all have money.
They all have money and lots of it. And then so in 10th grade, Nick started becoming estranged from his parents. He doesn't say why, but I guess they had a big falling out. It was definitely something Nick did because he later reflects on it saying, I can't blame them. Whatever it is, it's my responsibility, or whatever I've done, it's my responsibility. I think it was drug related, but again, I'm not sure. So Nick and Rachel met and they were like immediately best friends, partners in crime. Nick describes her as the first person he'd ever considered a best friend. He was just enamored by her. He thought of her as his sister, his like best friend's soulmate, and they just started doing everything together. They were together all the time. If they weren't together, they were texting each other or calling each other. They bonded over their love of fashion. Nick dreamed of starting his own fashion line. Rachel wanted to attend the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in LA, and she was obsessed with clothes. She was obsessed with reality TV and shows like Gossip Girl and The Hills, and she just like idolized the expensive fashion in these TV shows. Her fashion icons were Paris Hilton and especially Lindsay Lohan.
Fashion icons. I mean, right. Paris Hilton did do a lot of things, but that's also true. She's just really rich. Yeah. When you're famous for being rich, right, there's only so much credit you can give.
That's true. And I can see Paris Hilton as a fashion icon, like that freaking like silver rhinestone dress that was like dripping off of her. That was pretty iconic.
Yes, it was. But Lindsay Lohan?
Right, I've never thought of Lindsay Lohan as a fashion icon, and maybe I'm just too young to understand, but I don't.
What I remember about Lindsay Lohan is like her younger acting gigs, and then like her just being under the influence in public constantly.
Right. I think of Freaky Friday, and then I think of her like doing crazy shit.
Yeah, like so I think of the fashion for Lindsay Lohan is like smeared eyeliner, ratty hair, and Ugg boots.
Which was the thing in the early 2000s.
That's
so maybe.
True.
But yeah, never thought of her as a fashion icon. Britney and Paris, yes, but maybe not Lindsay.
How about fashion I can't?
How about fashion don't? Am I right, ladies?
Yeah.
Throughout 10th grade, they just did normal high school shit. They'd smoke weed. They'd go to the beach. They went to like high school parties. No big deal. But then they were starting to get bored. By the following summer, Rachel was talking to Nick and she was like, hey, so there's this boy from school and I know that he's out of town right now. Let's go rob his house.
What?
Yeah.
Why is that the thing to do? I'd be like, I know they're out of town. Let's go toilet paper their house. Yeah. If anything, like I wouldn't even do that, but why?
We'll get to it more, but like what it really came down to is A, Rachel was troubled and kind of a klepto. But B, like she wanted money to go shopping. Like she had an obsession with clothes and with looking like a celebrity. So Nick says he agreed because this was his best friend. It's like the only person he really had. He would do anything to please her. And so they went and broke into the house, and Nick describes like being shocked watching Rachel rob this house because he was really nervous and pacing around. He was like, should we really be in here? But Rachel was calm and focused, like she was in her zone. And nothing happened. They faced no repercussions. They just got some money. And so they kept it up. It turned into a nightly habit. They'd go through their fancy ass neighborhood and just check car doors. They called it checking cars. And they would just pull on door handles until they found like an unlocked Bentley. And then they would steal all the cash, credit cards out of it. And they'd do this every night. They'd take these credit cards and the next day they would go shopping in like expensive Melrose boutiques.
I wonder if they like truly grasp and understand what they were doing, because I feel like when you grow up in that environment, you're definitely sheltered from real life consequences at times.
Absolutely. They felt invincible. And there's a ton of privilege in this story that we'll get the chance to unpack a little bit. But yeah, just privileged, spoiled, not understanding really the value of money, not understanding consequences, like all of those things certainly just come together into the perfect storm. Plus some troubled kids. So Nick also started doing drugs at this point. He started doing cocaine. So he was also stealing money to support his cocaine habit. But eventually petty theft from cars just didn't seem like enough. Rachel could buy all this expensive clothing, but she wanted to look and be like a celebrity. She wanted the clothes from celebrities' backs.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So In 2008, so about 2 years after their first burglary of their classmate, they came up with an idea that they were going to steal from celebrities' homes.
What in the world? How
they are 18.
How out of touch can one be?
Right. And like at freaking 18, they're like, okay, we can pull this off. At 18, I worked at a coffee stand and like was scared to drive an hour to Seattle. Like,
yeah. I worked a retail job.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been great to have clothes that I was surrounded with in retail all the time, but I worked.
Right. And like, I also just like would never have the balls to like even like entertain the thought of something like this.
The thought of it is giving me anxiety right now. I'm literally pouring more wine into my glass.
Yeah. It was a crazy idea, but Rachel wanted those clothes. They would target female celebrities that Rachel considered fashion icons. And the whole goal was to steal their clothes. So they started going on celebrity websites. They'd find out who was out of town on a gig, and they would look up celebrities' homes on celebrityaddressserial.com or Google Maps. They started doing drive-bys, just scoping things out. And so they took their time, like they were like a little research team. And they did all this research and then decided that Paris Hilton would be a good first victim.
Okay, but wouldn't there be somebody in her house? Wouldn't she have a security system?
You would think, but they chose Paris because they thought she was dumb and more likely to not have those things. They thought that she would be stupid enough to leave a door unlocked and leave money laying around. And I don't think Paris is dumb, but she definitely made a dumb decision by leaving a key under her mat.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
At least get one of those like rocks that looks, one of those things that looks like a rock. I mean,
like,
you know what I mean?
Something.
Or just don't.
Right. Or just like have a freaking like code or I guess it was 2008. So maybe that was less of a thing. I'm sure celebrities' homes now are like really like have upped their security, especially since like all this stuff was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just casually left a key under the mat. They found it. They got in her house. Nick was the lookout. He stood at the bottom of the stairs and Rachel just went straight upstairs to Paris's bedroom. They were just in her fucking house.
I wonder what it looked like. I picture a lot of pink in my brain.
I'm sure there's like an episode of MTV Cribs or something.
Probably.
We can look at. But they ended up like Rachel took some bras. She took a designer dress. They took a bottle of Grey Goose and then just like whatever loose cash they found in her purses. The idea was that they would like take so little she wouldn't notice and they could keep going back. They also found 5 grams of coke, which they snorted. A rep for Paris Hilton denies that this is true, but you know who's gonna lie about this?
Yeah.
So they left. They drove around in the car. They were high on coke. They had just pulled off this robbery, and they were just having the best time ever. They said it was so freaking fun.
They need to make a movie about this.
Yeah. And they did. There's a
they
movie.
did. Okay, good.
So, you know, Paris never reported it. She never realized anything was stolen. And they went back on to rob her house 4 more times from October to December. So just a few months. Yeah.
Imagine being that rich, you don't even notice.
Right. Yeah.
I replace my own keys or misplace them and think that like they've been stolen.
Yeah. If one thing was gone from my house, I would know.
Definitely.
Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. She had a lot of shit. Yeah. And she didn't report any of these robberies until eventually they brought a friend along who stole $2 million worth of jewelry from her. Then it got reported. But until then, it was just like.
That's too far. That's too far.
But yeah, until then, they just did what they wanted. They started inviting their friends. So
rookie mistake.
Right. Yeah.
Not that I would know, but.
And I guess it was Rachel that kept bringing people in. Nick was like, I don't know why she would do this, but I think she
wants to show off.
Yeah, she wanted to show off. I think she got kind of a high from it. So she brought in her friend Diana Tamayo, who is a Mexican immigrant, and she was the 2008 class president of Indian Hills. So she seemed like a good kid, class president, but
class president of the alternative school.
Right, that's true. She was out there robbing with the rest of them. She also brought in Courtney Ahmez, who was a high school friend of Rachel's, and she was voted best smile. That was her
That's a huge compliment.
Right. And then Courtney's dad was also Randy Shields. Do you know who that is?
No. Is he a sports
I didn't
guy?
Either. Yeah, he was a famous boxer. I had to look him up.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. The article I read this in made it sound like a big deal. I was like, who's that? And then I looked up. He was just a boxer. I don't care.
Just a boxer. Yeah. Sports. Boxing is a sport. Yes.
Yes. What if I was like, it's an art form?
I mean, you could make the argument that sports are an art form.
I suppose.
And I would like to make that argument. In this essay, I will.
I wouldn't.
I will move on.
I don't see anything artful about this. So Rachel was getting her own friends, and meanwhile, Nick was also getting involved in some new friends. Through these new friends, he was starting to become part of like the Hollywood club scene. These clothes he was stealing was making him really popular with all the girls because he had all these like designer women's clothes.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up meeting Tess Taylor, and through her, he met her best friend, Alexis Nyers. And Alexis is our third and final main character. So Alexis's mom is Andrea Arlington Dunn. She was a former playmate. Her stepdad is Jerry Dunn. He's a television production designer. And then her dad, Michael Nyers, was the former director of photography on Friends. So she has a pretty well-connected family in LA. And by 19, she was like a socialite in LA, kind of going to the clubs. Her and Taylor would go to celebrity clubs like Apple, Guys and Dolls, Teddy's, and Echo. They'd hang out with celebrities like Emily Hirsch and Leonardo DiCaprio. She describes it as kind of like just like the young Hollywood scene. Like they'd go in and get tables and bottle service with the celebrities.
It's so insane. Like, first of all, just like rich people saying all these crazy things as if they're normal. But also everyone that I know that lives in or around Los Angeles talks about crazy things. Like, oh yeah, we saw like, blah, 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 Gwyneth Paltrow at the grocery store, like whatever. Just, it seems so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, celebrities are everywhere. And also I kind of like laughed at the Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Cause like my friends who I know in LA, like it's like a joke to hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio because he's like such a creeper on all the college girls in LA.
He is.
Yeah, like I like a lot of my people I know have been like solicited by him.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's considered a huge creep, but they were hanging out with him.
I mean, I probably would too.
Yeah.
I would be crept on by Leonardo. I would accept it anyway.
Really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think I would.
Good to know. So they had this presence in LA. They're also kind of trashy, like interesting, just crazy off the rails kind of family, which interested E in making a reality show. And they made a reality show about these girls. It lasted one season and it was called Pretty Wild. This blew my mind because I got this topic and I started reading this article, and then they started talking about Alexis Nyers. I was like, that sounds familiar. Where do I know her? And then Pretty Wild, I freaking watched that show. It came out in 2010. So I was in middle school. Yeah.
Like seventh grade.
Elementary school. Middle school?
Going into seventh grade.
Yeah, seventh grade. And so I watched this when it came out and I was obsessed with it. And my mom thought it was so trashy and like told me like turn that shit off all the time. But I still watched it and it was trashy. But it was the bomb. We'll watch a clip from it in a little bit.
Okay, good. I really need to see it now.
Yeah, it's the shit. So they befriended Nick. They brought him into the clubbing world, and in exchange, he would give them beautiful stolen designer clothes.
Where the heck is my Nick?
Right.
I deserve one, I think.
You want stolen clothes?
No, I want clothes.
Yeah.
I want free hate clothes.
I'd like someone to purchase clothes for me.
Yeah. I guess I just need a sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm. According to Alexis, she says she didn't know the clothes were stolen. She says that Nick told her he was a stylist and that's how he had the clothes. But Nick was like, no, that's bullshit. Like, that's a lie. She told her mom to justify her having the clothes.
I say, girl, tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And so Alexis, you know, she was also a bad girl. She got kicked out of her house by her mom for smoking Oxycontin.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Alexis denies doing this, but you know.
Okay, I don't want to mom judge here, but that is very serious. And the answer is not to isolate someone who's using drugs.
I mean, watching the show, like, it seemed like she was just out of control, and she was 19 at that point. So it's like,
figure your shit out. Not under my roof.
But I'd also don't really mind mom shaming that mom, because as you'll see in a clip, she does not seem like a good mom.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So Nick, Rachel, and their crew would go steal designer clothes and jewelry, Marc Jacobs, Gucci, Yes Saint Laurent, Chanel, Tiffany, Cartier, Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Burberry. And they'd steal these clothes and wear it out clubbing. They loved to brag about it at the club. They'd show off their sweet clothes. And they stole from more than just Paris Hilton. They ended up with a long list of celebrities that they stole from. And they would do this all the fucking time. They robbed from Audrina Partridge. She was an actress on The Hills.
Yeah, I know her.
Okay. I didn't know a lot of these people. Also, do you know who Rachel Bilson is?
Yeah.
What was she on?
Was that something girls or something?
Is she on the OC?
Yeah, she was on the OC.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She was in other stuff, so you might know her from something else. But yeah, she was on the OC.
Trying to quiz me? What the heck was that?
I'm hip.
You're older than us. You're the age of these people. That's how you know.
This is like almost 15 years ago. Yeah. How does that make you feel?
It was hip when you were their age.
I believe that you were hip at one point in your life.
Thank you. Yeah. I have waited upon Gwyneth Paltrow, so
that's cool.
yeah.
It's
you
hip.
said like everyone in LA has seen Gwyneth Paltrow. I was like, I have.
This can confirm. That's funny. That was just a random name too. I don't know anything almost.
Yeah. I was like, I guess I'm a walking cliche.
Yeah.
But I'm also hip.
You met other celebrities too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's true. Literally.
They're just
all
everywhere.
there,
Yeah. So they ended up robbing from Rachel 6 times. They took almost $130,000 worth of stuff from her.
Oh my God. Can you imagine having $130,000 worth of stuff?
Right. And like, she didn't fucking report it.
Did she
know?
know?
She didn't even know.
Wow.
She had no idea. And so like their whole thing was they just didn't steal that much. In August of 2009, they robbed Orlando Bloom. They chose him, one, because he was off in New York shooting a movie at the time, and B, he was dating Victoria's Secret model Miranda Kerr, and they wanted Miranda's clothes. So they figured she'd have some clothes laying around there. They were right. And we have a lot of information about this burglary thanks to this Vanity Fair interview of Alexis Nyers. So we have some deets on this one. So that night, Alexis claims she was drinking at a bar and then Nick called her and told her they were picking her up and she was drunk and didn't know what was going on. That's not the story that Nick tells. He says like she was down with this and she was not drunk and had not been drinking that night. So we've got some conflicting stories here. You can choose who you want to believe, but they ended up going at nighttime. It was Alexis, Diana, Rachel, and Nick, and they drove to Bloom's house in Rachel's Audi. They hid their faces from the security cameras with hoodies and they like walked backwards up the hill so that their faces weren't in the shot. The property was surrounded by a chain link fence. And so they cut the fence and just kind of like scooted on through it. And then what they would do is they'd walk around the perimeter of the house and just check doors and windows. They never like broke anything because they didn't want them to know they had been there. And they found an unlocked door. And
What?
So, yeah, right? Right?
What?
He was gone shooting. I mean, maybe he has like a housekeeper that comes in sometimes and maybe they left it unlocked, but it's just crazy to me that they were able to do this with so many celebrities.
Yeah.
they got through, and their whole system, Rachel called it going shopping. They would go in, find luggage. In this case, I think it was Louis Vuitton luggage, and they would just fill it up with whatever they wanted in the house. Rachel was about to move to Las Vegas to live with her dad, so she wanted art to decorate her house. So she stole artwork, they stole clothes, and then $500,000 worth of Rolexes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. Again, like they were stealing this stuff not really to make money, but because they just wanted, like Rachel was stealing artwork to decorate her house. She wasn't stealing it to sell it.
She was literally going shopping.
Right.
For free.
Exactly. She was going shopping for free. And occasionally they would unload stuff. They'd like take it to Venice Beach and just sell it to people walking by to get drug money or whatever.
Jeez.
But it was never like they were trying to make a lot of money. It was just, okay, we need to get rid of some of this shit because we have so much. In August, they targeted Brian Austin Green's house, and I think he was on the OC. I didn't write it down, but they targeted him because he was dating Megan Fox, and she was living there at the time, and, you know, they wanted Megan's clothes.
Remember when Megan Fox was huge, like the biggest name?
She was like the hottest girl in the world.
For years.
Uh-huh.
All I remember is that like there was one thing where it's like she has weird thumbs and they're just like double jointed or something and they can like bend backwards almost.
Yeah, people really were obsessed with her. And then didn't like the director of the Transformers movies like really fuck her over and ruin her in Hollywood? Do you know about
Michael
that?
Bay?
Yeah. I read an article that like he ruined her career somehow with some misogynistic
something happened,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he made like her audition be like a porno.
Yeah, he just like really exploited her and like made her into a prop for that movie basically, and then she was never really seen as anything but a sex object, unfortunately. But you know, she had cute clothes at the time, I guess.
She had cute clothes.
Yeah.
And she was hot.
She was hot. She still is hot.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
She's still alive. Who's she dating? She's dating some rapper, right? What's his name?
know.
You looked at the wrong person for that.
The guy who literally said 4 minutes ago that he was hip.
What rapper is Megan Fox dating, Alex?
Look it up because this is going to drive me crazy.
All
I know this.
Looking it up. What did I just
Megan
type?
Fox rapper. Boyfriend. Oh, Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, she's dating Machine Gun Kelly.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite the match. So they robbed all these people. They attempted to rob Ashley Tisdale, but they got caught by a maid, so they ran off. They also had plans to rob all kinds of Disney stars. They were like actively surveilling the houses of Miley Cyrus, Zac Efron, Hilary Duff, and Vanessa Hudgens. So they were ready.
I want to go in Hilary Duff's house. I don't want to rob her, but I want to go in there.
Right. I'd just like to go in and walk around, you know, no harm done, just see what's up.
Right.
I'd like to see how they live.
I want to pose for some pictures.
Take some selfies in her bathroom.
Yeah, I want to take a bath in her bathroom is what I want to do.
Yeah. And like we were talking about earlier, it was the clothes they wanted. These girls were obsessed with celebrities. It was a type of cult worship. They desperately wanted to be famous. They wanted to look like these celebrities. And the celebrity Rachel wanted to emulate most was Lindsay Lohan. So the night of August 23rd, she, Nick, and Diana broke into the home of Lindsay Lohan. They stole about $130,000 worth of clothing and jewelry. And Nick says that the whole time the girls were just fangirling. It's so weird. Like they'd break into these houses of people they idolized and then just like fawn over all their stuff. And
yeah, it's like if you're at a concert and a celebrity, if like the singer touches you and you're just like, I'm never washing this hand again.
Right. It's like a total fangirl moment, but they're also like doing this horrible thing and violating these people's privacy so badly.
Yeah.
It's really
also,
creepy.
You can emulate someone's fashion and style by looking at pictures of them and then using the money from all the other clothes that you fucking stolen.
Yeah.
And selling that and then buying clothes if you really like want to go that route.
I think it just became an addiction at that point. And also I think part of like this was like fetishizing these celebrities to the point where they wanted clothes that had been on their bodies.
Yeah.
There's like a cop that was interviewed in this case who said, I can't quote him exactly because I didn't put it in my notes, but he's like, is stalking people and stealing their clothes to wear them like really so different from like in Silence of the Lambs, like wanting to wear their skin? Like it's obviously different. Like that's a dramatic stretch, but it still kind of shows this like creepy obsession, and they were stalking these people. Like none of this was okay.
Dang, I really wish I had seen Silence of the Lambs in this moment.
You haven't seen... I know what we're doing tonight. We're going to watch Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
I'm excited. It's like my favorite movie. So Nick was watching these girls go crazy, and he just said he had a really bad feeling. And he was correct to have this bad feeling. On August 26th, the LAPD released surveillance videos showing them robbing Lindsay's home. And surveillance videos from when they had robbed Audrina Partridge were already circulating, but like they hadn't been identified. But now there were 2 videos that showed that it was the same people robbing both houses.
Imagine being their parents or someone that knows them, and you see the news and you're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, their faces weren't in it. So they weren't quickly identified by the videos, but having these 2 videos where it was clearly the same people was kind of enough of a hint or a connection to eventually catch them. There was an informant that told police she had overheard Nick and Rachel bragging about their crimes at the club. So, you know, they were
so
stupid. Yeah, they were stupid idiots. And then by October 22nd, the police had issued search warrants for Diana Tomeo, Courtney Ames, Alexis Nyers, and I think that's it. And then there were also 2 other people, Johnny Ajar and Roy Lopez, who had bought, I don't think they ever stole, but they had bought some of the stolen merchandise. Or maybe Roy Lopez had actually stolen. But, you know, they were just side characters, but also guilty. So they were all brought in and questioned. And Lee's questioning was a little bit weird. Rachel, she was told by police that if she just told them where this stuff was, she could be released. She wouldn't be arrested right away. And she kind of just maintained that she was innocent. She's like, I don't have anything.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know. But like she knew this arrest was coming after the videos started circulating. So she offloaded all her stuff. In her mind, she's like, there's nothing tying me to this. There's nothing in my house.
Oh my God.
So like they can't
it erases
do shit.
me.
That's what she thought, but she was kind of sloppy because the police searched her house and found a coat that belonged to Lindsay Lohan and topless photos of Paris Hilton.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
Yeah. So she was caught.
She thought.
Yeah, bitch, you thought. They told Rachel this, and upon finding that out, she became hysterical, like hyperventilating and acting out. And she also became physically ill. She'd start like gagging. And then she calmed down enough and she looked at police and she asked them if they'd spoken to the victims. And they said, yeah, we've spoken to the victims. And then she got really excited and like fangirly and asked what Lindsay said. So she definitely seems unstable.
Definitely unstable.
Mm-hmm. She was charged with 3 counts of residential burglary of Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, and Audrina Partridge. Nick Prougo was charged with 7 counts of burglary, but he fully cooperated with police. He gave them all the information he had, gave all the stolen possessions back. He even confessed to crimes that the police didn't know about.
That would be me in that situation. Right. I would just be like, I'm sorry.
And yeah, that's what he did. According to him, and like we find some stuff out about Nick later that's like not great, so I don't want to gas him up too much, but he seemed to feel really bad. He said that he confessed to things the police didn't know about just because he thought it was the right thing to do. He felt really bad about this. He wanted to formally apologize to the celebrities. He says he just kind of did it because he loved Rachel so much and would have followed her anywhere. And like, okay, guy, like
not good enough.
Not good enough. Yeah,
not a good reason.
Really fucked up and are also a shitty person. Alexis Nyers was a whole different story. She did not fess up. She had this reality show, Pretty Wild, and she had already signed on to film. before all this shit went down. She was doing this stuff, but the show was set to start filming like right when her first like trial date was set.
Oh my gosh. Pretty wild. Prison edition.
Literally. So they ended up like the show ended up chronicling the trial and all this shit around it. And it was just completely public.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Nyers denied any involvement in the burglaries. And she has an amazing quote that's long, but I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I'll do a dramatic reading.
Please. I love your dramatic readings.
She's such a fucking spoiled brat. So she said, I'm a firm believer in karma, and I think this situation was attracted into my life because it was supposed to be a huge learning lesson for me to grow and expand as a spiritual human being. I see myself like an Angelina Jolie, but even stronger, pushing even harder for the universe and for peace and for the health of our planet. God didn't give me these talents and looks just to sit around being a model or being famous. I want to lead a huge charity organization. I want to lead a country for all I know.
Okay, I'd really like to break that entire quote down. First of all, Angelina Jolie is very strong. She got tattoos on her back, nail by nail, literally the old-fashioned style. No one is stronger than Angelina Jolie. Second of all, she wants to lead nations, possibly, or charities. No, she wants to lead criminals in petty theft and grand larceny.
She just wants to do anything that gets her fame, money, and drugs. Like, that's who Alexis Nyers was.
Jesus Christ.
She was completely delusional. According to Nick, she was actually like an enthusiastic participant in the crime. She knew exactly what she was doing. But, you know, it's a he said, she said by the seashore. It's a he said, she said kind of situation. And then, like we said, she did this article with Vanity Fair and the woman who wrote the article, Nancy Solis. So she gave her side of the story. And she expected this article to paint her in a great light. She was super, super excited to be in Vanity Fair. And she read this article that rightfully like portrayed her as the spoiled brat villain that she is.
That's so funny.
And she freaked the fuck out. There's a famous clip from Pretty Wild that shows her reading the article and having a full on meltdown. And we're going to fucking watch it.
That was smart of the producers to get this on camera.
Yeah, it's bananas.
This is the issue you girls are in. Woo! No way. This is so cool. Found it. Yes! Yes! Yes!
She's so happy that they have no idea what's coming.
Oh my God, I'm in Vanity Fair. Okay, hold on. Let me read this.
Can they read?
Suspect wore Louis Vuittons.
What?
Wow.
And their faces are dropping.
The Vanity Fair article, I was not happy with anything that she wrote about me. I never said that.
She made it sound like you're in the I know.
That's a
This
lie.
is a lie. What the
Oh my gosh.
She cut off
This
my
makes me
sentence.
sick.
She didn't make it clear at all. I'm pissed.
She left out major.
You need to call.
Hold on, I can't do anything about it right now.
It's gonna be okay. I'm calling Jeff.
She said I was wearing 6-inch Louboutins to court with my sweet outfit.
Jeff, did you read the Vanity Fair article?
I wasn't wearing Louboutins, I was wearing little brown kitten heels. Bitch.
She could have swayed
Oh my
this
God,
freaking
those
case.
are two
Does
different
she have
things,
any
though, to be fair.
passion for this situation? Jeff, this is horrendous.
I can't even read this anymore.
It's gonna be okay.
It's not gonna be okay. Stop. We're all just reading this.
People are so
Stop. Just everyone stop talking. Stop touching me. Stop talking.
I didn't touch
Stop.
you.
Just stop.
No one's talking.
That's all I know right here and right now. That there is one mind, one power. Gabby, be quiet.
and one present.
Stop. Stop what? Stop talking.
She's praying.
I am praying. Please be quiet.
Praying.
I know that I'm always protected. And that karmically my journey just gets better and better every day. I know that's the truth. And I thank you, Lord, so much for this truth. And so it is. So it
Pray it
is.
out. Oh my God.
The mom is even crazier than her daughter.
You missed about praying. She said, "You fucking rock, girl," during the prayer.
Totally backfired.
Nancy Joe,
This is Alexis Nyers calling. I'm calling to let you know how disappointed. Nancy Joe, this is Alexis Nyers. I'm calling to let you know how disappointed I am in your story. How horrible you me.
You
and this
lied.
You stop.
You
lied. Stop it.
Show it.
Stop it,
You
Mom.
lied.
Stop. Damn it. Nancy
Oh my
Joe,
God.
this is Alexis Nyers calling.
No
I'm calling
shit.
to let you know how disappointed I am in your story. There's many things that I read in here that were false. Like you saying that I wore 6-inch Louboutin heels to court with my tweed skirt when I wore 4-inch little brown BB shoes.
$29.
Every time you yell, I have to re-record it! Nancy Joe, this is Alexis Nyers. I'm calling to let you know how disappointed I am in your story and the light that you shed on me when I am going through such a hard time in my life. I opened up to you so that way the world could potentially know what a great, amazing, talented, strong, healthy girl that I am. Not even a girl, young woman. I am petrified with this story. I'm so disappointed, and I'm letting you know that I will clear this up. Have a nice life. Goodbye. That was beautiful. You did such a good job of expressing yourself.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was the most.
And she was like 21 or something. Like she's
Really?
not like maybe she was 19, but she was an adult. She's not like a 15-year-old kid that like it sounded like it was coming from a 15-year-old kid.
She's not well adjusted, I'll tell you that.
She's got issues. She was just a fame-hungry monster of a child. In the end, the whole crew collectively stole approximately $3 million worth of goods from their victims between October of 2008 and August of 2009. They've been nicknamed the Bling Ring. It was a huge story in the media at the time.
It's a catchy name.
Yeah, it is a catchy name. And it was made into a movie, and the movie was also called The Bling Ring. It starred Emma Watson as Alexis Nyers.
Okay, we should watch that soon as well.
I don't know if I even really want to see it.
Oh, I do.
Okay. Nick was sentenced to 3 years, but released from prison and put on probation after 1 year. Alexis was sentenced to 180 days with 3 years probation, and she had to pay Orlando Bloom back $600,000, but she was released after 30 days in jail. Rachel,
of course she was.
Of fucking course. And this is a freaking trend. So she was arrested again, actually, in 2010 for a heroin possession. And I think that was also chronicled on Pretty Wild. But like instead of going to the jail, she went to a Malibu rehab facility. Rachel was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but only served 1 year and 4 months before being released on parole. Diana got 3 years probation and 60 days of community service. And, you know, it's just like dripping with privilege. It
makes me sick.
It makes me sick. So I looked up where everyone is now. Rachel calls prison a blessing in disguise. She said it helped her get her life on track. She turned down the offer to work on the movie, but she went to cosmetology school. She now works as a hairstylist. Alexis is now 10 years sober, and she works at a recovery center in Malibu where she takes calls in the middle of the night from people who need help. She married model Evan Haynes in 2012, and they have 2 daughters together, Harper and Dakota. Nick was very open and willing to share his side of the story with the media right after the events. A lot of the interviews come from him. He worked in skincare for a while. I don't know what the hell that means, but he ended up back in prison for stalking and solicitation to commit sexual assault. Yeah. So, fuck Nick. He has since kept to himself. I don't know what he's doing now. Most of the people besides Nick turned out to be okay, which, like we were just saying, shows a tremendous amount of privilege that they could bounce back from this and have normal lives. On top of that, this case has been heavily glamorized by the media. It was a sensation in all the tabloids. Like we said, there was that movie made about it starring Emma Watson. And then there's also Alexis. She got to still have her reality TV show after doing all this shit. So, you know, if these kids weren't wealthy or if most of them hadn't been white, I'm sure this would have turned out very, very differently. So by no means do I want to laugh at this too much or, you know, glamorize it in any way, because these kids were fucked up and I don't think they got what they really deserved. But, you know, in the end, it's a wild story and I hope you enjoyed it. And that's the Bling Ring.
Wow. Thank you for taking us on that learning journey.
That was quite the learning journey. So aside from the Vanity Fair article cited in the beginning, my other sources are just Wikipedia and Us Magazine. And that's that on that. Let's hear from our sponsor. So you guys know we love Ralphie and Alice, our favorite organic vegan skincare company, but I hope you know how much we like it. It's winter time now and my skin is so freaking dry that I'm itchy all over the place. And Ralphie and Alice has been a lifesaver because it is lip balm, but sticks like the Soul Stick, which has CBD oil in it, can be used all over your body. And it's like perfect when you have like a little dry spot of skin to just like dab some on there.
Oh yeah, I remember in 7th grade being stranded in English class and I had no lotion, but my hands were cracking and so hurt. And what I used on them did not work. It was not lotion. It was not meant to be for it. But I actually did that recently too. And if there's one thing that you should always take care of, it's your skin, because it's your forever freaking outfit. And your lips, I don't know about you, but like you said, in the wintertime, they're especially prone to crack and get really dry. So Ralphie and Alice has really come through for me. And I love that they protect against the UV rays. Well, at least the Soul Stick does. Of course, we have the 4-pack. There's one that gets all the grit and stuff off of your lips.
The thick stick.
The thick stick.
Fix stick.
Fix stick. I'm sorry. I don't know why I always go to like tell you about all the different ones. I'm just so excited to tell you all about the different things. But that's really what I like about it. It's not just one plain Jane ready to go. It's like Ralphie and Alice gives me that spice of life for my lips and it feels really good.
Yeah, you have options. You can find one that like just works for you. You can get a 2-pack. It comes with a cute little carrying case if you get 2, mix and match. Or you can be like us and get the 4-pack, because I promise you will love every single one of them. And if you are ready to get yourself some Ralphie and Alice, you can go to ralphieandalice.com and use our promo code NIGHTCLASSY. That is the name of this podcast, no spaces, and get 15% off.
You deserve moisturized lips.
Kiss dry lips goodbye.
Mwah. Okay, welcome back to Miss Madden's class. So this week has been quite the roller coaster of a week at a national level and a personal level. Again, we're recording this January 8th. As you all know, but our listeners don't, my grandma passed away after 10 long years in a nursing home. And it's okay. Like, she was struggling for a little while now, but she did pass away this week. And I wanted to do something special, somehow related to like her and her life. But then I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that yet. So I decided to do a grandma adjacent lesson.
Okay.
And I'm going to cover some events in the lives of 2 people who were born the same year as my grandma. And that year is 1935.
Wow.
So I'm going to spill the tea as we learn the ins and outs of the explosive relationship between the king and the killer. That would be Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, shit.
And it's Elvis Presley's birthday today.
Yeah, I was going to say, when that the clerk at High Point mentioned that, were you holding your tongue?
Yeah, I was like, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea. I don't keep track of Elvis news.
I saw it on Facebook and I had been wanting to cover this story for a little while. And then it just so happened that they were both born in 1935. And I was like, okay, that's like loosely related.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And I know literally zero about either of them.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
I know I like going to Jerry Lee Lewis, the nightclub.
All right.
That's
We
it.
will revisit that.
Okay.
I want to start out by talking about their friendship. I'm not going to do like a huge bio on them either. You know, everyone pretty much knows Elvis was a famous musician. Jerry Lee Lewis was as well. But they were just basically both really successful artists, if we're just going to put it down to the bare bones of things. They both resided in Memphis, Tennessee, which is, of course, where we're located here as Night Classy. And they were popular at the same time. So there was a lot of competition between the two of them. They were both members of the $1 Million Quartet, along with Johnny Cash and Carl Perkins, and they recorded what's now considered as a legendary session at Sun Studios here in Memphis in 1956, which is so crazy to think about because we're constantly driving past Sun Studios all the time.
We drive past Sun Studios every time we record.
Yeah. So they recorded, we recorded, maybe we'll be superstars.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Same level of quality.
And even one time as their careers were both starting to take off, they were like, hey, we should like have some bro time together. And they did. They ended up riding their motorcycles together in the nude.
Ew.
Yeah. But also Elvis was handsome before like he got fat and everything.
See,
like
I don't agree with that.
Really?
I've seen young Elvis. And
I think he was handsome. I think he's symmetrical. I think he's pretty handsome.
Maybe.
Jerry Lee Lewis, I don't know. He's not my type.
I don't know what he looks like. Like, I literally don't know anything about him.
He's a white guy.
Okay. Got it. That's all I need to know.
You can picture him.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking at young Elvis. Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay, like at least Elvis is cuter than that guy.
Yeah.
This is kind of his most iconic look.
Ew. He looks like he plays lacrosse and went to an all-boys school.
He kind of acts like it too.
Yeah.
He played the piano like freaking crazy. See, Elvis with that hair and his lips.
I'm not into it.
I think he's cute.
I think he looks like a baby.
I think babies are cute, so.
But I'm not attracted to babies.
Okay, I think he's really cute there. I think he's cute.
He has baby lips.
Yeah, I see what you mean with that description.
The weird Cupid's bow shaped baby lips.
Yeah, well,
they
sorry
look like they should
jealous.
be wet with baby milk.
He needs some juice.
Maybe he needs some formula.
He apparently had the formula for how to get crazy rich and famous.
I guess so.
And yeah, so did Jerry Lee Lewis. They really bonded together when they rode their motorcycles together in the nude, which also sounds like a thing some babies or toddlers would do.
Right.
Maybe they should have worn diapers.
Probably they probably should have. Also, like that sounds so extremely dangerous. If you fall, your dick could get ground off on the pavement.
A lot of things could get ground off.
Yeah, but like imagine your dick getting ground off.
Yeah, I don't know what state of mind they were in when they made that decision. They got chased by a cop on a horse, but he never caught up to them. And honestly, that's kind of friend goals. Do you want to ride nude bikes together?
No.
Okay.
That might be a friend goal of yours, but I'm not the friend.
No, I didn't think so. What if we rode horses? Yeah, that's okay. That's quite all right.
There's a bike race that goes, I think it goes from like Seattle to Portland or something where they're naked. You ride your bike naked.
Yeah, in all reality,
sounds
like
extremely uncomfortable.
I need the public to know that I was joking about that. That does sound terrible. Like, how are you really gonna say, like, riding a bike already hurts?
Yeah. Exercise is terrible. And then if you're also naked,
okay,
no.
Exercise feels fine to me. Like, I do like exercising.
Okay, I speak for myself.
But like a bike, it's just too much pressure in some areas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if you got a juicy coochie, you could slide right off.
Yeah, I did a little slippery slide.
Gross.
So they were like friends. They did that type of stuff together. But Jerry says that they both considered themselves the king of rock and roll, and they were both, in their eyes, number one in the genre. Jerry has said that he feels he was more out and in the open with what he wanted to do. He was considered to be very wild, and Jerry says that he considers Elvis a very good true friend, but also at the same time saying that I don't think he has as much talent as I did, but he may have been better looking. Which we agree on that.
You.
Thank you. I would agree with that too. So glad we're on the same page about something. And I'm sure we all know this, but I just have to say it. They both heavily abused drugs throughout their lives that surely affected how they acted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to focus on Jerry Lee Lewis real quick before we dive into the actual relationship between the two of them. He is one of the founding fathers of rock and roll, and his life has literally been a great ball of fire. He was nicknamed the Killer starting in high school when he strangled one of his teachers with their necktie.
What the fuck?
He's been known to be violent.
Yeah, didn't he like marry his underage niece or some shit like that?
Oh, girl, that his youngest wife. He has had 7 wives.
Oh, great.
Yes. His youngest wife was 13 and he was 22 when they married. And everyone was like, what the fuck, Jerry?
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't know. What? I didn't know that was out of the ordinary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words.
Me too. But also, like, I mean, if I was 13 and wanted, like, literally any of the guys from Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco wanted to marry me, it probably would have been a done deal.
Yeah, but that's when the adult in the situation says, I don't want to.
Oh, absolutely.
Get with a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's like when you'd go to a Fall Out Boy concert and like shave your whole body thinking you were going to hook up with them when you were like 13 years old.
You're like, oh my God, I've never even shaved before, but this is the moment.
Yeah, I need to be ready just in case. What if the Jonas Brothers pull me backstage?
I need to look like a newborn baby.
Yeah. As if I don't already.
Right.
Maybe that's why he liked Elvis so much.
Oh, well, their relationship was a little rocky, but first I want to finish.
I thought you were going to say they hooked up. I was like, no way.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay. I love that for him.
They rode bikes together naked.
Okay. I mean, I like that much better than his relationship with a 13-year-old.
Oh, the 13-year-old. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And then Elvis abused Priscilla Presley pretty bad, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't read a ton into that, but I have heard some questionable things about that relationship. And not an excuse, but they were fucking loaded pretty much all the time after they, were doing well enough to be able to do that. But anyway, like I said, Jerry Lee Lewis had 7 wives and, not all at the same time. And, people get divorced and things like that. But there was some suspicion around the deaths of a few of his wives. His 4th wife, Jaren Gunn, she drowned in a pool not long before their divorce was final.
Yikes.
So that's just very a long story short.
Was it their pool?
I don't know.
Okay.
His 5th wife, Shawn Stevens, was found dead after she overdosed. And it's suspicious because she was bruised and bleeding. She took 10 times the amount of methadone, his methadone, and Jerry Lee Lewis paid for a private autopsy.
Yeah, I would say that's fucking suspicious.
It's a little sus.
It's sus as hell.
It smells a little fishy.
Came up through the vent.
He did. And it took 7 rounds until they, they ruled him not guilty. There was a trial and everything. We all know.
It's the husband.
And of course, he's currently married to his 7th wife, Judith Brown.
Currently? He's alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
Oh, shit.
He's going to be, when was he born? He's going to be 86 or 85, 86.
We could
86.
drive to his house.
Really? He lives here?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Real close.
Man. The things I didn't know.
Now you know.
I was going to say we got to bring him in the studio and get an interview.
Oh,
but
hell
now we
no. He's
can't.
a murderer and a
I didn't know
child
he murdered his
rapist.
wife.
You knew he was a child rapist, though.
Yeah, but I still love his music.
Yeah, but, everyone gets a free pass. Just kidding. No, he doesn't.
Down to the 13.
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. But he claims his 7th wife, Judith Brown, is the love of his life.
I'm sure.
7th time's the charm.
Yeah.
Right?
Until she decides she wants a divorce, and then she's at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She seems to be very in tune with Jerry, though, from a whole article I read that like this guy went to, and I'll cite my sources at the end. I believe it was The Atlantic, one of their articles, but one of the reporters went to their house recently within the past couple of years, and his wife was there, and Jerry Lee Lewis wasn't there yet, and she was like, playing hostess and everything, and she joked about how like their tiger rug on the floor was like his old wife, and she was like, okay, when Jerry gets home, just you have to go to a different room, act like you don't see him, because if he's not ready to be seen yet, like it's gonna be a whole scene. And like during the interview,
was she serious?
Yeah, during the interview, one of like someone's phone rang, and he was like, shut that phone off.
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
Yeah, he's a bit.
Yeah,
he's a little crazy.
He's got some quirks.
Yeah, he's quirky. He's a quirky guy. He has a big personality. We'll say that, and Elvis did too. And so when they were working together and against each other throughout their careers, there's one very dramatic night that I'm going to really zoom in on here. Okay. So in the wee hours of the morning on November 22nd, on November 22nd, 1976, Jerry Lee Lewis is driving around Memphis, and he pulls up to Graceland, which if you don't know, that is what Elvis's estate is called. Yeah, he's that fucking rich. He has an estate called Graceland. And so Jerry Lee Lewis pulls up to Graceland with his wife in a brand new Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. And he pulls up and talks to the guard, and Jerry's like, hey, can I see Elvis? And the guard is like, no, dude, it's like 2 a.m. He's sleeping. You need to go home. And by the way, the guard, his name is Harold Lloyd. That is Elvis's first cousin and loyal security guard. We'll see him again later in the story. So he's like, okay, no big deal. I'm going to go home with my wife. And we don't really know what happens between when he arrived at Graceland, but we do know that around 9:30 a.m., Jerry Lee Lewis flips his Rolls Royce in Collierville, Tennessee. And the cops must have gotten the exact same breathalyzer we did. Because when they show up and breathalyze Jerry Lee Lewis, nothing registers on the device, but he's like clearly fucked up.
Yeah, breathalyzers just don't work.
They just
or
lie.
he was fucked up on not alcohol.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He was effed up on something. So they surprisingly actually charged him. They charged him with driving while intoxicated, reckless driving, and driving without a license. He didn't go to jail, and that incident wasn't really a deterrent at all for him, because the next day, Jerry Lee Lewis is back at his favorite spot in Memphis, the Vapors. So now it's the next day, November 23rd. And I read a couple and listened to a couple interviews that Jerry Lee Lewis talks about this night. So I'm going to go through exactly what happened from Jerry's point of view. And then I'm going to go through like reality, basically. Okay. So,
I was just going to say we got the Alexis Nyers point of view and then the Nick Prougo point of view.
We have the delusions, and then we have at least our plane of existence.
Okay.
We have the Vanity Fair article.
The real media, not the fake news. Okay, so Jerry Lee Lewis is at Vapors. He's hanging out. He's been drinking a bunch of champagne. And according to him, Elvis calls him at the bar multiple times. It's 2 a.m. and Elvis is like, Jerry, please come to Graceland. I'm feeling really down. I'm feeling really depressed. And I just really need a friend. And Jerry's like, okay, man, I've been drinking a lot of champagne. It makes me, he's been drinking. It makes him wild. But I'll be there. I'm your good friend. And like a good friend would, I'm going to drive to your house to help you.
Good friends always drive drunk.
Yep.
They do.
It's the main qualifier.
No, they don't. Don't do it.
Please. No, please. So Jerry packs up from the bar. He grabs his keys and everything. And of course, he has a new car this day, or, one of his other cars, his Lincoln. And he shouts out to the bartender. He's like, I'm going home. And he walks outside. And then once he's outside getting all situated in his car, the bartender comes out, according to Jerry, and says, hold on. I have a present for you. And he gives him a brand new pistol.
Oh, great. How convenient.
How convenient, right? And Jerry's like, thanks. This is so crazy. What is this for? And the bartender's like, I don't know, just whatever you want. It's a random present. It's what I do.
Yeah, I'm just the gun fairy. Here's your gun.
You get a gun. Oh no. And so then Jerry goes to put it in his glove department, and the bartender's like, no, you got to put it on the dashboard so you don't get in trouble for concealed carry. And Jerry's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I forgot.
That makes sense. And so in his clarity and state of mind, he puts it on the dashboard and makes his way on over to Graceland.
You gotta look cute. It's like having a Beanie Baby on your dashboard, but it's a Glock.
Yeah. Glock. And it looks really cute. I mean, he made it somehow.
Did he bedazzle it?
Probably.
It's not a gift if it doesn't have diamonds on it.
It's got to look real cute if you're going to drive a Lincoln around.
Right.
He's got to make all the impressions as if he hasn't already.
Got to be ready to shoot anyone who calls it a grandpa car.
Right. And not only that, while he's driving in his grandpa car with his Glock on the dashboard, Jerry's like, man, that whole night driving that Lincoln, the thing felt like it was a mile long. So who knows? Is it because it's a Lincoln, or is it because he's blasted?
Yeah, what if he was just wasted and driving a limo and he didn't realize
what if he was just like getting driven by someone else and he just imagined this whole thing?
He's just like using his gun as a steering wheel in the back seat.
He puts his head out the window and is like, I'm flying. Am I dead?
He's like doing that thing where you do the wave with your hand, but it's a gun.
I mean, that could have very well have happened. On this night, Jerry Lee Lewis was the most wild, in my opinion, that I've read about Jerry Lee Lewis. He makes it to Graceland, and like I said, he feels a distorted type of way about the positioning of his car. And so when he gets to Graceland, he drives up, into the driveway and crashes directly into the directly into the gate of Graceland.
Okay.
Oops. Just a little bumpy bump. Oops. Did I dent that $5,000 gate?
It doesn't matter to him.
No, he can pay for it.
I mean,
obviously, if he fucking flips his Rolls Royce and then has a Lincoln to drive, and he just does not give a fuck.
All I have is a gun on my dashboard. What's the worst that could happen?
Right. It's only the 70s, and I'm a white famous musician. I'm invincible. So when he crashes into the gate, Elvis's garden cousin, Harold Lloyd, comes out and he's all freaked out. He's like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, what do you want, Jerry? And Jerry's like, I want to see Elvis. And Jerry's like, oh, gosh, this seems like a bad situation, Jerry. And then Harold sees the gun on the dashboard and he's like, let me go ask Big Boss Man. Let me go ask the king about this situation right here.
Yeah.
So he skedoodles back up to the security booth and he calls up to the house and he talks to Elvis and he's like, all right, Elvis, so Jerry Lee Lewis is here. He's literally waving a pistol around demanding to see you. What's the move? And Elvis is cited as saying something along the lines of, oh, I don't want to talk to that crazy son of a bitch. Hell no, I don't want to talk to him. I'll come down there and kill him. You call the cops, Harold.
Yeah, no thank you. That's the appropriate response.
Right, that's the plight. And also, I didn't know this, but apparently Elvis had a stutter, especially when he got like upset or nervous.
I didn't know that.
So that's why I stuttered just there. I wasn't like trying to make fun or anything like that. Yeah, no thank you is the right answer. The cops are called. Harold seems to highly doubt that Jerry Lee Lewis was there under any good intentions. That, you know, Jerry Lee Lewis is like, Elvis called me. He said that he needs a friend. And according...
He wanted me in my mile-long car to come party with him and my Glock that I got as a present from the gun fairy.
It's a present from the gun fairy to me, to Elvis. It's the circle. It's the traveling gun.
Don't you understand?
One day there will be a wonderful book written about jeans for girls. Guns are for boys. This is the precedent.
Is it guns or jeans? Let's explode a bomb to find out the gender of our baby.
The gender of this baby is violence.
And we all know what gender that is.
Oh, Jerry Lee Lewis is screaming, hollering, and cussing, visually upset. And it's said that Elvis just watched the whole thing go down on his closed circuit security system.
He's eating popcorn. He's like that meme of the guy like bobbing his head.
Oh yeah, he's eating this whole
it's Michael
thing
Jackson, the guy.
Yeah, I was about to be like, that guy.
Wait, are you sure it's not Shaq?
Oh my God.
So anyway, Elvis is watching.
That's that guy eating that.
That's how Elvis feels about Jerry Lee Lewis. Like, I'm sure of it. He's like, look at this guy on my TV again. Doesn't he know I'm the king? And it said that, and I couldn't find anything confirming this, but there are lots of, there's hearsay that Jerry Lee Lewis was like, tell the king to come out here and I'll show him who the real king is, like waving around this pistol.
What a fucking douche.
Yeah. Like, you hear about mean drunks, but this is like...
Yeah.
A whole other level. He cray.
I'm going to steal Tommy's prop pistol and do this to you.
For why?
We're going to reenact it.
Why don't you tell that hoe for science to come out here and I'll show her who the real podcaster is. You start like choking me out with a mic cord.
But like it's all in my head and I'm like wrestling Ghost on the floor. I think he's you.
Oh no. Oh, Ghosty.
No,
Ghosty would
he'd beat
fight
my
you.
ass.
Yeah. Your ass would be grass. Like you'd be at Le Bonheur.
Yep. He'd like take me to the vet. Like, this is the hospital, right?
Wow. That would not be good. Just as this situation is not great. The cops pull up and Jerry Lee reminisces in a later interview. He says, I was really loaded. And I'm just like, we know, Jerry, we know. And so Jerry at this point is still in his car. He hasn't gotten out, but he's been like waving the pistol around. And so he puts his seatbelt back on when he sees the cops rolling up. He rolls his windows down and he thinks that he throws the champagne bottle out the window, being able to trick the cops and make it seem like he never had champagne and he was totally sober. Reality says not true. He actually threw the bottle of champagne at the closed passenger side window that was rolled. It was rolled up and the champagne glass in the window broke everywhere.
Wait, was it a glass or a bottle?
It was a bottle
Oh
that
my
was made out of
God.
glass material.
What I thought was going to happen was he threw the gun out of the car thinking it was the bottle and it like shot someone.
Well, the gun does fall out because he tries to hide the gun in between his knees and in between the door. But
A
then
great
the
place to hide a gun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not in his proper mind.
It's just my knee bulge.
Yeah, you know, sobriety turns me on. My knee bulge. I am a very successful musician and I also have the world's longest gun. I mean car. I mean penis.
My knees are well endowed. I was born with it.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's a Glock. So the cops see the gun and they're like, what are you going to do with a gun, Jerry? Because, you know, he's a regular. Then they're like, are you going to hurt Elvis? And Jerry is quoted as saying, well, if you're silly enough to think that, then probably so. So basically, like, you're a good investigator. That's exactly what my plans were.
How'd you know?
We still don't really know about how or why the bartender supposedly gave him that gun.
There's no way the bartender gave him a gun.
Right. How
He
do you
had
make
that
that
gun.
up? Yeah.
Or he saw a gun behind the counter and he was like, give that to me. And they were like, you're Jerry Lee Lewis. Okay. I guess I'll give you the gun.
I'm giving you the gun and I'm giving you your own bar downtown Memphis.
Does he own that bar?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
You're asking
Probably.
too many questions, Kat. He probably does or was probably benefits off it somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's visibly fucked up at this point in time. The glass smashing fucked up his face. His nose is cut, and you can see in a mugshot. I have it here, but we can also look it up. His face is cut, on his nose a little bit, like on his lip from the glass. But he's resisting to get out of the car. He's resisting to put his hands on the steering wheel. He's trying to hide the pistol in between his knees, and the gun fell.
Look at him.
Oh my, he looks disgusting. I don't want to ugly shame him, but
But
he doesn't
ugly.
look good. He's also wearing a tank top, but it's like a denim vest with nothing under it.
Who knows how many layers of clothing he shed in that bar
Yeah.
before 2 a.m.
And he looks way too old to be doing these shenanigans.
He did
He's
all
old
the
as
shenanigans. Also, Elvis is old as fuck.
Elvis looks rough too.
Yeah, what
Like-
we didn't mention is this is 10 years after they had hits.
Ugh. Really bad. But I
Ugh,
mean,
he looks terrible.
also, if I had to look 10 years into the future, I don't want to see that.
He
for
looks
myself.
like the Michelin Man, but sweaty.
Yeah, he does.
It's real
He
bad.
does with a really bad, like, Beatles haircut.
But
Or maybe his
not
hair isn't that
even.
long.
He looks like a modern day like alt girl with like the really short like black bangs and like a mullet.
They're talking
Yeah.
about Elvis now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So neither Elvis or Jerry Lee Lewis are looking great at this point in time. And like thinking back, like with my grandma, she had a 5-year-old was her youngest at this point in time. Like she was really rocking it. Thinking
Yeah.
about how this is a grandma adjacent lesson.
She probably had a big crush on Elvis.
Probably. I'll have to ask my mom if she ever mentioned Elvis. But yeah, they're being crazy here in Memphis. And there's more. Okay, so the gun falls out. Jerry Lee Lewis is arrested for carrying a pistol in public intoxication. So he gets wheeled off. But before they clean up the car and the whole scene and everything, a car comes pulling up at 4 a.m. and this man comes bumbling up to the Graceland gates. And wouldn't you know, it is another man of the Lewis family. It is Jerry Lee Lewis's own father, Elmo Lewis, who was a farmer and convicted bootlegger. He pulls up cackling his ass off about how Jerry Lee Lewis got arrested. And it was so funny to him as his father because Elmo, his dad, had just gotten out of jail that day for being arrested with being under the influence and driving 2 days before.
Oh, wow. What a classy family.
The apple does not fall far.
I'm picturing this role played by Elmo from Sesame Street in my head.
But he's like a fucked up Elmo who you washed and dried when you weren't supposed to, so his fur is all matted.
Oh my God. Both of the Clifford puppets in my classroom are like that because I did that. They're like off-brand, scary Clifford.
It's like the puppet in Arrested Development that goes through the wash.
Yeah.
It's Times Square Clifford.
Yeah. It's scary Clifford. It's dog fighting Clifford is what it is. He has mange.
Pitbull Clifford.
Pitbull Clifford. Oh, yeah. Poor Elmo. Poor Clifford. Not poor Jerry Lee Lewis. This is actually the last time Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis ever interact with each other, if you will.
What a way to end your friendship.
Yeah, Elvis died 10 months later, and Jerry Lee Lewis defends himself, and his sister does, about how good his intentions were for that night to this very day. Make up your own mind.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
I always wave around a gun when I show up to my friend's house with good intentions.
How else are they going to know I'm there?
Yeah, you gotta, honking your horn, sometimes that's not loud enough. You gotta fire a few shots into the air. Pow, pow.
One must create a scene to be a scene.
Everyone loves to have a crazy friend.
That's right.
You just gotta fulfill that niche for people. They'll love it.
Hopefully we can do that for you. All right. Well, my sources are an article called Jerry Lee Lewis Arrested at Graceland by Best Classics Band Stuff. Jerry Lee Lewis Arrested at the Gates of Graceland. Interview with Jerry Lee Lewis by Elvis Australia. They have their own website. There was a CBS News article titled Much Married Celebrities, which is where I got all the information about Jerry Lee Lewis and his many wives. The Guardian article, Jerry Lee Lewis, I Wonder About Whether I'm Going to Heaven or Hell by Simon Hattenstone. That's the one that's in his house. And the Memphis Flyer, Clash of Titans by Matt Hanks.
Oh, shout out to the Memphis Flyer.
Heyo.
Well, thank you for that lesson. I had no idea about any of that.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Girl.
Now I'm a true Memphian.
Yes, you are.
Guess Memphis has always been wild.
Yeah, yes. It was found wild.
Yes. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out so much. Follow our socials on social medias, various social medias. You can buy some of our merch if you want to rep the pod, or you can even donate to our Patreon. Think about it as throwing a little tip our way, and you also get some cool stuff on there. So thank you again for listening, and 3, 2, 1, class dismissed.